Well, I was thinking that maybe you should start um, about when you came here, when you first came, the year you came, and where you came from, how many of you came, how you got here,
Let's see.
and why you came, what was going on.
Well, why we came? We came in May the 17th, 1921 is when we landed at Johnson's Landing at midnight on the Nasookin, SS Nasookin. And there was, Dad was here. He had come, that early that spring. And how he got here, I don't know, and he don't know either. But he come to Nelson looking for work. Dad was the sheriff in Maple Creek. And he didn't like, it just didn't suit him, that kind of a job, business of, going and putting farmers off the land because the old banks had foreclosed, and so he just quit and come here looking for work. And then when he got to Nelson, he met Lindsay, who then owned this place that we are on, and he talked him into coming out. And of course he had no money. I know he said when he come, he had 35 cents in his pocket, and he threw it off the Moyie on the way by. He said, 35 cents is no good, and he threw it up in the lake. So his bum broke. And then we come in May 17th, 1921. And there was myself and my sister Nellie and sister Margaret and Jack and Bert and I. Bert was the baby. He was about 3. And Mother, of course. And we got on the Nasookin at Kootenay Landing, off the train onto the Nasookin. And then we transferred from the Nasookin onto the Kuskanook at Proctor. And arrived here about midnight on Saturday night, I think it was the night the boat come in. And there was no vehicles, of course. There wasn't even horses here. We had no horses, didn't have horses for years. Walter Gardner had a team of horses that I know we walked up.
There was a path.
There was a path,
road
the path.
Yeah.
And of course they brought us up the path, which was a shortcut, because I know I climbed up, or all of us did, on our hands and knees. Living and born right on the prairie in Maple Creek, where it was just dead level. And then come out in dark, in the middle of the night, and climbed up that. I never thought where we were going.
And it was dark coming down the lake. You didn't get to see.
No, not a thing.
What it was.
No. The only thing I really remember is on the train when we got into Creston. It was in the morning. We had slept on the train. And looked out, and the peach trees and there'd be cherry trees were in bloom.
Right.
And of course, the first time we'd seen fruit trees. And we stayed in Algot's house, in that old log house.
And was he there? He was there?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I remember the first morning my brother and I were sleeping upstairs. And we woke up quite early. Oh, kids will. And of course, everybody else was asleep. Looked out, and there was the little creek, irrigation ditch, and clover was about this high, Well, we were out of bed in pajamas and all, and in that creek when Mother woke up about 3 hours later. We were wet from one end of us to the other, playing in this creek, because water was something else, running water.
Yeah.
And of course, we left the prairie, and there was, patches of snow, cold. And then we'd been sick a lot before. We had smallpox and whooping cough. As a matter of fact, one brother died of whooping cough just before we come. And fruit, apples.
Yeah.
We got a half an apple on Sunday when we went to Sunday school and we were in the prairie. And here you go down in the basement in the root cellar, and pick up an apple whenever you felt like it.
Yeah.
We thought this had to be the best country in the world. And I still think it is, too.
I do.
I still think it is the best country. And I'd been all right from Vancouver to Halifax and half of Europe. And then quite a bit in the States, traveling. As a matter of fact, I stayed down there, quit school, and went down there on a cow ranch. That was
But came back?
Oh yeah, I came back, yeah. I stayed 6 months. My sole ambition when I was young was to be a cowboy. I quit school. I went to school for 6 years or so. And that was 6 years too many. And quit, and I went on a ranch in Washington. Rode a horse day and night, herding cattle. But I come back at Christmas, and when I went to go back after Christmas, well, they wouldn't let me cross the border. You see, I was too young. My father was with me, and of course, Dad didn't go the second time. He took me down the first time. And they wouldn't let me cross. I didn't care. I was all happier anyway. They just turned me around on the train and said, go back home. You're too young to prowl around. When I was 14 years old, I thought I was a man.
Well, so had your dad bought this place from Lindsay then? Or?
No, Lord, no. Let's see, it'd be 1920, about 1925, he bought it.
So you were going to stay here, and it was all an orchard at that time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was up until, let's see now, it's when I was up, Larry was home, Larry and Bill Boyd, and they had the trees removed. Price of fruit got so bad that it was hopeless.
What year was that about?
That would be in, was just before the war.
And Larry and I were alone when we...
No, that was after the war.
You
Sure,
couldn't
that
look
was after the
the-
war. Yeah,
The
after the war.
trees, so...
That was after the war, that's right, too.
you know,
See, I went in the Air Force in 1942, and then it was till the end. And of course there was Mother and 3 or 4 little kids. Father died in 30?
Who, Daddy?
Yeah,
37.
so 1937.
So after the Depression and before the war.
That was right about the middle of the Depression.
37.
Mm-hmm. It was still
Going.
full blast. It come in 1929 here, when it first hit us. 1929.
How did you know that it hit you?
My brother and I were up on Trout Lake. We were up there for 9 months, making poles, telephone poles, cutting them, We had a timber limit, the 2 of us. And we worked 9 months and had them all, I forget how many of them, and brought down to Girard, that's when the railway was in, to load out, and then 1929 in the spring, and that was it. They wouldn't buy them. So there all these stacks of poles all peeled and cut. And that was
When he got out, he looked like the second coming of Christ.
in 9 months, not a haircut or a shave. You got some pictures here somewhere.
How'd you get him out? How'd you bring him down? Get him...
Down the lake, up there, with sail. We hadn't a motorboat even. We'd just get the wind right and wrap them together and get some big sheets and blankets and get the wind right and bring them down into. Then we pulled them out. We had horses, you see. We had a team of horses. Because there were no machines in those days.
Yeah.
We were here for 3 years, I guess, before we even had a horse. Like, we used to cut hay with a scythe and pack it in with a rope on our back all the time for the cows. We always had cows. But before we could get a horse, I had enough money to buy a horse. There weren't too many. Wadhams had a team of horses, and Gardners were the only horses on Johnson's Landing.
Where were Wadhams?
Right got their property. It's where Larry's is now, right across the way here.
Right.
So you know where that big birch tree is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, their house was just north of that, where those fruit trees are there. That's
Right.
where the house stood.
Burned down or fell down?
I
or...
tore it down because people kept wanting to rent it to stay in for the summer, and it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
You see, I was afraid of him going through the floor into the basement.
Yeah.
So I tore it down just so people weren't going to get hurt in it. It was just a small frame house, built about, probably about 1910.
Huh? Did you ever hear of Garland?
Oh, yeah. A.T. Garland?
Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Did you know him?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Well, did he live here?
Not here. He had a dry goods store in Caslow. But he had property here.
Right. He was the first one. I checked all the land grants of all the land around here. He got the first land grant, which was down at the wharf. Well, all of this.
That was after Algot had homesteaded, though.
Right.
Algot homesteaded here first. But that was up here. Then A.T. Garland got land grants.
Right. He got all that large section.
Yeah.
And then the year
Houston
later,
got a lot, too.
well, then Houston bought
it from Garland. That's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did that in 1905, which is pretty interesting because
And then you see Algot came here in 1901.
right, but he didn't get his land grant
No,
until
no,
1906.
something like that. Then he homesteaded, you see. Or at least that's the way I understood it.
What did that mean? He just said, he just came and said, I'm...
No, you applied for a homestead, like a land grant. Only they called it homestead.
I'll have to check that out. Because I said, well, how do I find out who got the first land? And they said, well, it was land grants. So I'll have to check that out. You think it's like a homestead or...
Same, yeah. They may not have called them, they may have called them not homesteads here, but land grants. On the prairie, they were homesteads.
The Alexander Thomas Garland, A.T., they called him A.T.?
A.T. Garland.
A.T. Garland. He filed for his, or got it, June 1905, and Algot didn't get his until May 1906.
What about Walter Gardner?
1909.
Walter Gardner and his partner, MacDonald.
MacDonald was right next door. He had the piece next door.
North of.
1912 is when when he filed for
Dan
his.
MacDonald? Yeah.
Donald.
Don MacDonald.
Donald, yeah.
Yeah,
Donald
right.
Bain.
Donald Bain MacDonald.
Right.
I remember him.
Do you?
Only seeing him a few times, yeah. It was, tell you, it was Walter and MacDonald, they trapped up here. It's just before we came here, too, a while. And MacDonald had a little dog, a little terrier, and they were coming down off the hill. It wasn't in the trapping season, it was in the fall. Anyway, the dog ran out and got tangled up with a grizzly bear. And of course, as soon as the bear took after the dog come back to them, you see, and put Walter up a tree, and just got him by the heel of the boot, but not enough to pull him out. And MacDonald just kept on going, and the bear never saw him. And poor Walter sat up in that tree, well, until the bear left, which was quite a few hours. Every time Walter said he'd try to come down the tree, the bear'd hear him, you see, and come just to charge him back. But to hear Walter tell it he was...
Walter could tell some great stories.
He was a real mountain man, too. He come from Glengarry in Ontario.
Walter.
Yeah, James Walter Gardner.
Yeah, he's a wonderful person.
Played the piano like a mad. Good piano player.
Did he have one, a piano?
Then we bought it when Walter died.
That's the one that's down at the hall
And
now?
that's the one that's at the hall.
Isn't that?
First and only piano in Johnson's Landing. Is that one. There never was another piano here.
Is that right? I remember you telling me about that piano tuner that came
Old
up
Angus.
in his canoe.
Yeah, he had an Indian wife. Yeah.
And so he would just come and tune that piano, and that was the only one?
Hang around for a few days. Get a few free meals.
Yeah.
Real old carrier, an old Scotsman. He was, but his wife was Indian. Pure Indian.
What year would have that been?
Oh, no, I don't know. In the 20s. Every year he'd come, every spring, tune the piano. Then when Walter, even when it was at the school he'd come, so it must have gotten quite late, because I remember he used to come all the way up to school to tune the piano. But he was getting pretty old man.
So, like, would Walter play the piano for a dance or something?
Oh, yes. Yep. We'd go down in the wagon and the horses, load the piano on the wagon, haul it up to the school, and then next day take it back home.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then what kind of dances would you have?
Oh, just like barn dances, I guess you'd call them. Yeah. Of course, I didn't dance too much then. I was too young, and I wasn't too much interested in dancing.
Hmm.
I spent most of my time prowling around in the bush. When I was a kid, didn't do too much social life.
Well, how old were you then when you came? 21?
I was 9.
9.
9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see, that'd be 50. No, it's 60. No, 50, yeah. 50-some years ago. Well, it'd be 58 years ago is May. Because I'm 66 now.
Just this past Christmas, eh?
Mhm.
66, right?
We'll get the
66.
old age pension.
Good for you guys.
Can't even spend it. Old age pension and Canada pension. Oh, and I got another couple of pensions that I had myself. Like, it wasn't too long ago that you didn't get old age pension. Well, first you had to be 75. And 9/10 of the guys were dead by the time they were 75, and then it was 70. And then it was put down to 65. But, when I thought, well, I'm not going to get old age pension until I'm 75, I'm not going to be able to work, and at least I won't want to.
Yeah.
So I made arrangements. I put money away. So now I've got lots of money.
All you need, huh?
Oh, yeah, can't spend it all. No. No, don't have to worry about money, that's for sure.
Well, so when you first came in back in the 20s, how did you, was there an income? Did you?
Just whatever you made here. Dad never went out to work. There was no way he could. See, there was no road then. And he couldn't go away and leave a family for, only in the day.
So how did you live then in those first years? Just...
Well, I don't know. Being a kid, you didn't care either. As long as you had your belly full, that's all.
Well, you did.
You never were hungry.
You had
yeah.
a garden.
Oh, yes. Huge gardens, lots of fruit, lots of fish, lots of game.
Yeah, but that first year there was no...
No, I guess sometimes it was pretty tough, all right.
Pretty tough was right.
But we made it, that's for sure.
But was there, I'm just thinking about...
See, in those days there was nothing like welfare or relief. Like, you could starve to death and nobody would lift a finger.
Right.
Unless you're only your neighbor. And I can remember it during, I guess it was before, because I was just a kid. Because I remember, I think it was Ethel Lake, wanting a stamp, and they were 3 cents to mail a letter and come up here, and we didn't have neither the 3 cents nor the stamp.
Yeah.
So you can see how much money there was, just to mail one lousy letter.
But was there a way to make money here? The fruit was going out then, is that right? You're selling the fruit?
Yeah.
And...
we used to ship cream all the time to Nelson.
Cream?
Every Saturday. Yeah.
You'd collect it all week?
Mm-hmm.
And keep it cool?
Mm-hmm. No refrigeration, but then you made, coolers with spring water running through. Kept it in 8-gallon cans.
Huh.
And ship it. Everybody on Johnson's Landing nearly did. Lakes and us shipped most of the cream, steady. Usually 2 8-gallon cans a week apiece, which was a lot of money in those days.
Can you remember how much about would it be?
Oh, we would probably get $1 a gallon.
And you'd take it down to the wharf?
Mm-hmm. And went on the Moyie into Nelson, into the creamery. And it was all made into butter, you see, because it wasn't fresh enough to be sold as fresh creamer. We'd have gotten more, but it had to be churned into butter. That's before there was margarine.
So how many cows were you milking?
Oh, 12, around 12,
Is that
10,
right?
12 cows, yeah. Mostly Holstein.
So there was fruit and cream. What else?
Well, and vegetables. And beef.
Like, would you just send a slaughtered cow out, or would
We'd sell
someone...
it usually to the butcher in Caslow. Went to the butcher. Ship it out in the Moyie.
Hay? Did you ever sell hay?
Oh, yes, by the carload. Mm-hmm.
Carload, like a train carload, is that right?
Yeah, boxcar of hay.
What, the boxcar would... What would it do? Come...
Yeah, the barge, same as apples. We shipped lots of apples here in boxcars, right in refrigerated cars. Remember, one year we shipped two carloads that went straight from here to New York City. Extra fancy MacIntosh. And I know I remember Dad talking about it. The freight cost exactly as much as what we got from the apples. The freight was exactly the same. But it was still, good. The apples were pretty good then. Not until after 29 is when then there was several years we didn't ship them at all because we lost money on them.
How's your coffee? Would you like some hot?
No, thank you.
So we had to, we stopped for about 3-4 years, never shipped them. We raised hogs too. We had hogs all the time.
You'd sell them?
Slaughter them. Or sell them as weaners, 6 weeks old, but usually slaughtered hogs in the fall. Dad was a butcher by trade, you see, so it was simple for him. Or he knew what to do.
Right.
And of course everybody in Johnson's Landing was the same. Everybody. Lakes, and Wadhams, and Rapers, Spences, everybody. Bacchuses, down Birchdale. Same thing. No one had anything. But still, no, I think we were just as well off as we were today. Everybody seemed a lot happier. Lots of time to visit. Of course, there were no cars. There weren't any cars here for... Oh, gosh, I can't remember. We got the first one, and it was a truck to haul wood, cordwood. Because we used to ship a lot of cordwood, too, by the carload into Nelson.
So you take it down on a wagon, down to the wharf, and then pack it in?
Yeah, loaded in boxcars. Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah, $6 a cord.
Now go to Nelson. Caslow didn't...
Yeah, there's some to Caslow, but see, there were lots of people in Caslow that weren't, scrounging too for livings, and they pretty well kept Caslow supplied with wood.
Yeah.
But for the first while, the Moyie and all, it burnt wood too, you see, cordwood. And they used to sell a lot of cordwood. But that was nearly mostly before we come here, that they sold a lot of wood to the Moyie and, all the boats.
Well, clearing was going on too, and so it just...
Land was being cleared that's what the wood was used for.
Right.
Yeah. But you see that when we first come here in 1921, the boat come to Lardo every day. And there was a train in Lardo, and it stayed there. Stayed right in Lardo and went every day from Lardo to Girard and back, you see.
What was happening in Girard that it would go up there?
There was a big sawmill, huge sawmill. One of the biggest in the interior when we come here. And in Trout Lake City was a big shingle mill. And there were several mines working up there. And that was all barged down Trout Lake, you see, and then loaded on the... Oh yeah, it was lots going on compared to what there is now.
Yeah.
Even with KFP.
Right, yeah.
Because they don't contribute but very little, actually. Like there are a few people work for them, but that live here, you know, but not that many. And there was a sawmill in Lardo, in Plainer, like the lumber for that shed I'm tearing down was made in Lardo.
Mm-hmm.
All shiplap and everything was made in Lardo. And there was a mill then in Cooper Creek. Sawmill.
Hmm.
You know, they were small, run by maybe half a dozen men.
Right. Sort of like what's happening now, like Aldingers and...
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then they pretty well, they all folded. Most of them burnt them. I suppose for insurance.
Yeah.
Because I remember the Lardo mill burnt in the middle of winter. Wasn't even being operated.
So
But during the
prospecting?
Depression, oh yes, lots of prospecting. Lots of it.
On these hillsides here
Mhm.
too?
Yeah. I've done plenty of it myself. Days and days and days. Weeks of prospecting.
Never find anything?
Thought I had several times. Nickel. I thought I had a good nickel showing, but had a good showing, only it was just on the surface.
Well, did you have to study? You had to study up about that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Before you could go
Oh,
out?
yeah. I even took classes in Nelson one winter.
Mhm.
Would go in twice a week. Take geology classes and then a lot of books and
Mhm.
study it. And nothing else to do. Like there was no work at all during the Depression. No work whatsoever, and there was no use even farming because you couldn't get what you went in a hole in the farming. Even beef. Like when I went in the Air Force, I had to kill all the cattle off but the milk cow. And it was 8 cents a pound is what I got for it, delivered into Castle.
Mhm.
And now it's $1.
Right. If not
What
more.
a difference.
Right.
But still in all, that 8 cents was probably as much as $1 is now. But when we came here, of course, there were the Lamonts had left. There were 2 of them, boys. They went in the army. And one of them was killed overseas, and the other one, when he come back, he never come back. That's up about where Jimmy is now, Lawrence. And of course, Wadhams was just come about the same time we did, before that Pogson had the place. He was the original owner of the place where Larry is. So, and I remember him. He come several times after we were here. A little old fellow, bachelor. And Jim Milligan, that's where Wells is now. And Lawrence Ott, that's Alvin's place. And Walter Gardner, and old Don MacDonald. And Rapers come 19 or 20, one or the other. I could tell by looking in the old post office book.
So would they have gotten that from Garland? That
Mhm.
place down there? Like
Right.
no one actually lived there before Rapers. Were
No,
Rapers the first
they were
to...
the first down there. They'd got that from Garland. Yeah.
Why would someone like Pogson go up that high up?
You mean Lamont?
Right.
Probably got crown land. Probably they couldn't afford to pay Garland. He might have wanted $3-4 an acre, you see. And they could get it from the government maybe for 50 cents.
Right. He paid $1 an acre.
He did it.
Yeah, for the land grant.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
That's surprising, actually.
212 acres. Well, that's Walter Gardner.
Yeah.
Garland got 156 acres.
Mm-hmm.
$1 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
$156.
$1 an acre, eh?
Algot Johnson paid $40 for his 40 acres.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the grant says. I don't know if
Mhm.
they actually paid it, but
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they would. They'd have
that's what
to.
it says.
They'd lose it.
Yeah.
Of course, those old fellows did anyway. They wouldn't buy anything without they had the money, most of them. Of course, lots of trapping in, too. Lots of it. Matter of fact, the first person on Johnson's Landing was an Indian.
Kootenay Joe.
His cabin was down the mouth of the creek. That's how Kootenay Joe Mountain, Kootenay Joe Creek is named. And he was only here in the winter, just to trap,
Mm-hmm.
and then would leave from Creston. He was here when Algot came, 1901 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they all trapped. Everybody trapped. All those old-timers trapped, every licking one up.
So was there ever any trouble about who could trap where, or if you...
Never, because you see, you had registered trap lines. And that was the object of it.
So would have Kootenay Joe, that old fellow?
He didn't.
He wouldn't have had any
No, that's
registered.
before there were enough people into it. He could trap wherever he wanted because there wasn't anyone else here.
Mm.
But that's why they had registered trap lines, because, well, maybe, you know, somebody had a trap line up Fry, and then somebody else come along with lots of fur, so he'd set a line right alongside. Well, there were shootings, and so you had a registered trap line, and no one else was allowed to trap on it. But without your written permission, you see. And that was the object of registered trap lines. And they're all registered. Every trap line in British Columbia today is registered.
Trap lines are usually along the creek?
As a row, or maybe 2 or 3 creeks, depending on the size, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Or some creeks there are 2 trap lines on, like Hamel and Fry. They're so big. The area is big enough to sustain 2. But that's a mistake, because they over-trapped them.
Yeah.
Whereas if they'd have been all in one, and one trapper could have made a living by trapping one half one winter and one half the next, you see.
What would they get mostly?
Martin. 9/10 of the fur was Martin. Still is. Canadian sable.
Hmm. And then, what, would there be a buyer in Caslow or Nelson, or?
Fur buyers. Yeah. Real gyps, too.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why we've got the Canadian Trapper Association today.
Yeah.
On account of those fellows. But it was a good life then, but for young people. But I certainly wouldn't like to have been a married man with a family and tried to. It's all right, sure, it's fine raising kids, you know, just turn them loose in the bush. You know, nothing's going to hurt them. No car going to run over them, or they're not going to get in any trouble. Maybe a bear might chase them, but then they could run fast anyway. But it must have been hard keeping food on the table, boy. Clothes on the kids. It wasn't easy. But then it wasn't easy anywhere.
No. Well, you had a big family. You had
11.
brothers and sisters that were born here after.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
After you came.
Yeah, Bruce and Florence. And Larry and Pat and Jean and Douglas.
I was 5 years old when we came here.
Hmm?
I was 5.
You were? You mean... Bert was 3.
No, but I mean, I was 5
Oh, when
years
you come to
old
Canada.
When I come to Canada.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
From where?
Sweet, Idaho.
From Idaho.
She was born, I think, in Sweet, Idaho. Like her father, Grandpa Nolan, was born in Kansas. No. Grandma was born in Kansas. Maybe Colorado. Lived in Colorado anyway. He hunted buffalo with Buffalo Bill. We've got old writings of it.
Why'd they come north?
Like Grandpa's people were born in Canada, Nova Scotia. And then Grandpa went south, across the border.
And then came back. My great-grandpa came from Canada, went to the States,
Yeah.
changed his name. He was LeBlanc.
Mm-hmm.
Changed it to White. Didn't want
Blanc,
that.
the same thing.
Right, didn't want that
Well,
French
their name was changed too, from Nolan to Noland, because there were so many of them in one area. They got their mail mixed up.
Yeah.
And then Argenta, then, of course, it was, well, there's no one there except Steve, no, that was there when we come here. No one at all.
What was happening in Argenta?
Same as here. Very much the same.
Just homesteads.
Mm-hmm. Bought the land nearly the same way as they did here.
Now they'd had the mine going, Lavina, but that was
the prior.
much earlier, eh?
Mm-hmm. That closed in, I believe, 98. I'm not sure.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
Well,
it's actually what started Argenta.
Was Lavina,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Not
Well-
Lavina. No. The Argenta mine.
So where was that? That was
That's the one where the compressor is now.
called
So-
Argenta mine.
Mm-hmm. That's
Oh.
the name. The Lavina is different altogether.
Oh.
Tell you, my brother's wife's grandfather found the Lavina mine, named after my sister-in-law's aunt, Lavina.
Huh.
His name was MacDonald. They found the Lavina mine.
Huh.
Him and Red McLeod.
That old gangster.
Yeah. Yeah, old Red McLeod.
Huh. Well, so they must have done all right, eh? They came out of that
Mm-hmm.
pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why did Johnson's Landing get started?
Just old Algot, the fireman.
He just saw that there were some benches here,
Mhm.
and
Algot was a miner by trade. Matter of fact, he come to Canada from Colorado. Come from Sweden to Colorado, working in the mines, and then come north in the gold rush in the about 95. Come to Castle, worked in the mines.
and then just
Well,
Why did
according
they
to
left?
him, he was fishing in the rowboat, and he got storm stayed down at the mouth of, between Fry and Kootenay Joe, right at Kootenay Joe. And then while he's waiting for the storm, he walked up, and he said he saw this beautiful big flat. He said he just started inland to save money enough to buy a piece.
started clearing and
Mm-hmm. Well,
started putting in fruit trees.
you chopped the trees down, then you planted them without taking the stumps out. Didn't wait to stump it.
So when did the stumps come out?
They rotted out in about 3-4 years.
Huh?
And in the meantime, by that time, the trees were bearing.
Yeah.
You see, you didn't wait till you cleared it, and you just cut it down and burnt the brush and laid it out with the compasses and things that surveyors have. You
Mhm.
laid it out and planted trees right when the stumps were still there.
He was here by himself.
Mhm.
Just did this all
All by himself.
by himself.
Yeah. All with a matic. Never owned a horse in his life.
Boy.
All with a matic.
Never got
And
married.
grub hoe.
Never got married.
Oh, no. There weren't like Algot and old Lindsay, old bachelors, and of course Lamont's, Pogson.
Bachelors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not a lot of women around in those days.
You know, when you come here, there was Mrs. Raper, and I guess Mrs. Gardner and Mrs. Wadhams, eh? Yeah. And then Ethel Blake come. Ethel Rowe.
Ethel and Stan and
No,
came on the honeymoon here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like Mrs. Gardner was Ethel's sister.
And that old house is still down there.
Mm-hmm. The
Right.
original one.
Right there by the creek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Algot's original house, too. One that first built in Johnson's Landing, I guess.
The chicken coop. That's what
Mhm.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be his cabin up in the swamp there. Yeah. Like Algot's house was just finished when we come here. They were just finishing it.
Elgit and who else?
Well, Algot didn't build it. A guy by the name of Snowslide Peterson built it. From Hauser. He built the house, actually. Algot didn't. He hired it being built.
So he had some money.
Well, he made it trapping. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Working and trapping. He had no money, only what he made.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly trapping. 90% of what he made trapping. And he could go out, too. He used to go out and work in the mines, too, after we come here, because he had nobody to, worry about. He'd go out and work in the mines. But Dad never went out, that I can ever remember. Never left here to go to work or anything. Couldn't very well,
With his family.
Yeah, no road in and out, you see.
Well, so do you remember when your brothers and sisters were born?
I can remember when most of them were, yeah.
Like, did Mrs. Mac go down to Caslow?
Mm-hmm. Nelson.
Nelson.
There was no hospital in Caslow, I don't think, or there wasn't one at that time. You had to go to either that or it's because we had friends in Nelson, someplace to stay without costing money.
So she'd just wait until it was time? And
Yeah, right till the last dog was home.
And then what would you do? Hop into somewhere?
Oh, no, she'd go down, you see, and stay with friends maybe for a week. With Waltons in Nelson. He was a boat builder.
And then come back with
Mm-hmm.
your new brother or sister?
Yeah, from the Moyie. Yeah.
So no one had their babies here?
Not that I know of.
So no one's been born in Johnson's Landing?
Not that I know of. No. No, they just wouldn't take the chance.
No?
It was too hard to get in. If anything should happen, you'd be dead. You'd bleed to death or whatever happens.
Right.
So they just wouldn't take a chance, and no man would take a chance with his wife, you see. To take him to the doctor. And I guess Stanley.
Well, Margaret Gardner was born here.
No.
That was Jenny's girl?
Mm-hmm. No, because I can remember I think they got the Moyie in the middle of the night or some plain thing special. Get her out.
I know,
And as far as I know, Stanley Lake is the only person to die here.
right in Johnson's Landing.
Outside of... Did Charlie Fitzsimmons? Can't remember. I don't think so. I think Stanley Lake.
Was the only person to die in Johnson's
That
Landing.
I can recall. I can't recall anybody but him.
Where was he buried?
Argenta.
So no one's been buried here.
No one has been buried here.
Although there is a
There's a
cemetery.
graveyard, or was.
Where's that?
Right down, it's probably is in the corner of Dan's. Be his northwest corner.
Just as you turn that corner.
Right.
But it was never registered, although it was surveyed out.
Who would have done that? Who would have surveyed that?
Man that used to live down where the cabins are had them built by the name of Bob Barrow, an old Englishman. And there was no way he was one of these type, that thought undertakers and that sort of thing were just, making their living off from the dead, so to speak, you see, and he wouldn't have any part of it. Had a carpenter here at Johnson's Landing make his own coffin. But he didn't die here. He died in Seattle, where his sister was. His sister lived in Seattle.
So he had that area surveyed off.
He surveyed it because he was a surveyor,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think he registered it, you see. But an acre, he bought the land from Rapers. Raper owned it at the time,
Right.
where Dan Burt is now.
Right. So I wonder what happened to that piece. I wonder
It never was taken out, you see.
was never registered as a...
Never taken out of the I believe it was a 10-acre lot. Was never taken out. So it was, nothing.
What about your dad? Where...
He's buried in Caslow. He died here, too. Father did, certainly. Am I thinking of right down the school? Yeah.
And so you go to the cemetery there in Caslow.
Mm-hmm.
I've often thought about that. I want to stay here when I die. I don't want to go anyplace else. I guess
Well,
our
sure I don't.
the only... You say you don't?
Well, I won't be gone from here. I'll be feet first.
Well, but so what are we going to do with you then? Are we going
I'm
to...
going to be cremated.
And
Ashes are taken up beside my brother's up in Kootenay, Joe. Mothers are going under this birch tree here. So you tell me.
I don't care what you do with them.
Well, that's what you said you wanted done with them.
well, that's good. I guess.
Mine are going up on the mountain where my brother is.
They've got a cemetery up there. They really have.
Uh-huh.
Up under the balsam,
Well, I guess.
looking down into Fry.
Well, that's a good place.
Right down the lake. We used to camp there, him and I, when we were kids. And that's
Mm.
where he wanted them. So we took the whole family up there. His whole family. Buried them. But I don't believe in cemeteries anyway.
Boxes and
No.
all that.
I don't think we should use the land for it.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid, actually. Just like, see, that's why you don't see that in places like Japan.
No, they've got no land to
No.
do that. No.
And that's the reason. Like they cost a lot of money, to keep up. Cemeteries do.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's to me sort of a pagan thing.
To put it in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Argenta's cemetery, but I can't imagine they do very much to keep it up.
No, nothing.
No.
So to me, they're even that one in Caslow isn't. They're depressing places. You see headstones leaning this way and that
Yeah.
way, and weeds, and nobody goes near them anyway. Old crosses, wooden, and you can't read on them anymore. They've been there for 60, 70 years in the weather. So, they don't even know who's there.
Yeah. So, what about school then? You were 9 years old when you
Yeah.
came.
Yeah.
And you gone to school in Maple Creek? No.
We were sick. I think I started, but I never learned anything. I started in grade 1 here.
Right after you got here, or after a while, or
That's September.
came in May and started
Mhm.
in September?
Yeah.
And there was a teacher?
Mm-hmm. He was a medical student. Yeah. Mr. Hall was our first teacher. Great, tall medical student. Because I can still remember him sitting, and we went to school over in Ott's building, the place where Peterson has now. Sitting there, his feet up on the desk, reading medical books.
He was studying, or?
Studying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a doctor after. Good doctor, too.
So what, he just came here for one school term to...
Mm-hmm. Make money. Enough to put him through school. And then the following year, we had a Swede teacher by the name of Miss Johnson. She sure taught us something in her, Man.
Would she whack you?
Oh, man. First day in school. And I had a brother who was going to school. He was 4. Just to keep it open it, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to sleep, of course. So he got licked for it. I never did. I never got, only once did I ever get strapped in school, and it wasn't my fault either.
No, it wasn't your fault.
Like the kid behind me had gotten up while the teacher went out. And when she come in, he made a dash for his seat, and she thought it was me. There was no use in me I told her it wasn't, but I got licked for it anyway.
So that was Ott's building.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't living there, or?
No.
Was just something he had built, and...
Mm-hmm. What's his house? Yeah. Walter Gardner, I think, built it.
And-
2-story log building.
Right. Well, would he come? Did he come here?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know what he was. I mean, his profession. What it was. He planted the orchard. That was all orchard, too, at one time.
yeah,
The whole thing.
right.
Same as this place, the same as Houston place there. It was all orchard. There was 10 acres of it here, of apples, 3 acres of orchard, of cherries. There we used to ship between 6,000 and 7,000 boxes of apples a year, 40-pound boxes. Shipped a lot of apples.
Did you have to pay for the school, or was it?
Mm-hmm. We had our own school district, Johnson's Landing School District. And we paid for it.
So you paid Mr. Hall?
Paid the teacher, everything. All those expenses that was connected with that school.
And so where did he stay? Where would he live?
He would board. And what they used to do to cut down expenses, like I paid a teacher, I remember, $90 a month.
That was a lot.
And that was with board. So he would go from maybe 2 months lakes or Gardners and 2 months at home and Rapers, and then you see they'd split up the board that way, you see.
Yeah.
But we had our own school board here. Each district did, wherever there was a school.
And then each family would chip in for that $90?
I believe, I'm not sure, that it was collected on taxes. And they actually, I think, were paid that by the government.
Yeah.
But you paid it when you got your tax.
Yeah.
That's the way I think it was operated. I'm not that sure. But it's the only way I could think, because I don't think the people here would, when it come payday for a teacher every month, mightn't have a cent.
Right.
And maybe the next month they'd have $300-400, you see.
Yeah.
Depending what they had sold in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. So that was grade 1 for you then?
Mm-hmm.
And so can you remember who was in your class then?
Let's see, there was mostly MacNicols. Well, there was my sister, 2 sisters, and 1 brother, and myself. And Raymond, and Jack, and Dorothy Raper, when we first started. And Mabel Rowe, that's Ethel's sister.
Right.
And Thelma Douglas, it was some relation of Lake's.
Of whose?
Of Rose.
Huh.
They were here, and that was the school. That made 7, and I think that's what it required. No, it would be 7, 10. 9 or 10.
Ethel would have been too old then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah. Not much, but too old to go to school. Yeah. And then there were some of them, like his sister couldn't have been more than 5. And then Bert would come, and he was 4 or 3 to open the school, and then 10 just long enough to keep the school open. But I went to school for 6 years.
Here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Consecutively, right? One right after the
Yeah.
next?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And went through the 8 grades in 6 years. But it wasn't because I was smart or anything. I was fortunate. And we had a teacher for 2 years that was excellent teacher from Creston, Miss Comfort. And she put me through 4 grades in 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And was it always there at the Ott place?
No. Just 1 year. Then they built the school. Like the people built it. It didn't cost anything for labor. And the lumber, they chipped in and bought the lumber and built the school. The government didn't build it. They had nothing to do with it, building it. They didn't build schools then. The municipality built them.
And then that parcel of land was taken out of...
It was donated by Houston, I think, or Garland, one or the other. A.T. Garland or Houston, I don't know, I've forgotten which, but one or the other. Was taken out of their land, surveyed out.
Houston would have owned it then.
Probably Houston.
Well, that was
I
like
think
in the
so.
20s then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it was Houston. I'm pretty sure it was Houston.
Did he live here, Houston?
No, but he used to come.
And do what?
Just tromp around. Look at his holdings.
Yeah.
I can remember him, a little old fellow. At least we thought he was old. He probably wasn't, but I remember he was a little man. It's just like Pogson. I don't remember him very well, except that he was little old gray man, from what I recollect.
But you said you remember Garland, too.
Oh, gosh, yes, remember him real well, because he run the stories.
Oh, right, that's what
E.T.
you said.
Garland, and then knew him right until he died, because we did. Remember one time Mother, when first couple of years after we'd been here, a couple of years, sent in for shoes in the fall, because we never wore shoes, only when the snow came. Didn't know my size, so she drew my feet on a paper and sent them in, and he wrote out and wanted to know whether they were for a boy or a bear.
So what happened to him then?
He died in Kazan. And he had two boys, Curly and Ralph. And I think they're both gone, too, now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Curly isn't. He's gone away, but I think he's still alive, Curly Garland.
So that's where Gar Creek came from, Garland, Gar Creek.
Right. That's quite correct.
Yeah,
Just a short form of Garland Creek.
right.
As a matter of fact, on the old maps, it used to be Garland Creek.
Mm.
And it got shortened down to Gar
Gar,
Creek.
right.
Yeah, you're correct there.
Yeah.
And Gardner Creek, of course, was named after Walter.
Walter.
That's where you get your water.
Right.
And Gar Creek then was, when we came here, everybody called it Houston Creek, and they still do. No one here called that Gar Creek.
When you came,
No, I never referred to it as Gar Creek, and never have.
think of it as Houston.
Nobody here ever referred it to anything but as Houston Creek, and still do, excepting the new people.
Right.
Call it Gar Creek.
Hmm.
No, we called it nothing but Houston Creek.
Because Houston owned it then, and
And he was the person we knew as having owned the land.
Mhm.
Like Rapers got their land from Garland. No, Houston, I mean, not
Houston,
Garland.
right? Yeah, because Houston got it in. Well, it was subdivided in 1908,
Yeah.
and Garland got it 1905, and it was subdivided in 1908 into those 10-acre plots,
Right.
and then it was transferred over to Houston in 1906. He only had it a year. Garland only had the year when he sold it to Houston. That was the first big subdivision in
Johnson's land.
right
Yeah.
way back then.
Mhm.
So then
Dawson, I think, did most of the surveying.
Dawson. Can't remember. I think I wrote that down when I looked at the survey map. So then Houston sold off
Yep.
pieces then.
Mm-hmm.
Rapers.
Yeah. Gardner.
Waddup. Is that right then?
Who?
You say Waddup then?
Wadhams.
Wadhams.
Mm-hmm. Dunk Wadhams. Yep. Rapers. And Hunter. J.R. Hunter. That's where Albert is now. And that lot, the 3 10-acre lots over here, where Perry is.
Was that that was Hunter?
Hunters. Mm-hmm. And Gordon.
Gordon?
Mm-hmm.
They got it right away then?
His father. Long before we come here. Gordon had a lot here.
The one that,
Harvey's on.
right.
Yeah. That belonged to the 10-acre lot, and he just bought it on speculation from Stettler, Alberta. Coal mine. He was a Scotsman from the old country.
Hmm.
And he bought that. That's the Gordon lot.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was.
So what happened to Bill Holmgren? He just left? Or
He was a forester by trade, and he married an English nurse in the hospital in Nelson. And they moved to Nelson because she, wasn't living out here. That was for sure. I can remember when Bill got married.
Here? Or
No. I remember when he was going with this darned English nurse. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when she was out here because she was real English. And then they moved to Nelson.
And he just let it go? He didn't sell it or?
No, just let her go.
Did he have a building? Did he
He had a barn and a house. Log. Long since gone.
Yeah.
Well, he had trees, you know. There's still trees that are still growing there in the woods, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, you know, these perennial sweet peas that grow year after year after year.
I've never seen them.
They're still growing there, and he must have planted those in 1917. And iris still grow there around where the old house was.
I'll have to go up there in the spring and take a
Well,
look.
these perennial sweet peas
Huh?
still growing there. And the iris that he used to plant around his house, and that was probably 1917.
Well, was there just not a market to sell it, or he just didn't have any money into it to try and sell
Yeah,
it?
I didn't
or?
bother. No market anyway,
Yeah.
especially a hillside. No water. Little wee spring for water. And there was just no way anybody wanted it.
Why do you suppose he decided on it? Just
Probably the only place he could get.
probably didn't cost much. And this
No,
one- I
not
don't think this
preempted,
one-
you see.
Well, this wasn't a dollar an acre.
No.
These other ones.
Preemption. You just had to prove up on it. Had to clear so much land, build so many buildings, plant so many fruit trees. No, it's a preemption. But then went back to government on tax sale. And of course, in those days, it isn't, you can't now. Like if you lose a piece of land because you can't pay the taxes, it goes back to the government and they keep it. In those days, you could go and pay those back taxes if you had the money,
Someone else.
and then have the land transferred in your name.
So then over the years, someone was going to sell out like Wadhams, or then you'd, Wadhams.
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 Mm-hmm. W-A-D-A-M-S.
Uh,
Dunk Wadhams.
and he'd just say, well, I'm leaving, and you'd say, well.
There.
But I wonder if it should go on the outside of that, though.
I'd like to know what the object of all this is.
Oh, just history.
Eh?
So there was no worry of food part of it.
Clothes, you must have just kept handing those clothes down.
Mother would make them. Yeah. Same with the furniture. I still got it. I saved it too. Like, I can remember when Dad made it, like bookcases and little tables. And there was no lumber. You'd split it out of big chunks of pine, and then use ads on it, you know, and then a plane. And I salvaged them down there. I don't want them to get destroyed.
No.
Because he did lots of fancy work on the bookcase with a jigsaw.
Yeah.
Or a fret saw, you know.
Yeah. So, now you weren't living in this building.
No. This was built in 1957.
Everybody would have been gone then. I mean,
Mhm.
all the kids were gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Just Larry and I here. Mother was in Maple Creek, with her mother. Because Grandma, you see, was 96 when she died. So Mother stayed with her. How many years did you stay down with Grandma?
Well, I was there for, I think, 6 months, and then one of the other girls came.
Yeah, but then you'd go back again.
And I'd go back again.
Yeah, you were there for several years. I know while we were building the house, you weren't here. My brother-in-law used to come up, Alec Brokenshire, he's worked in Trail, and my brother Bruce, and help. Because neither Larry and I were carpenters. And they'd lay out the work, and then we'd work on it.
Tell them what to do.
But you did all right.
And it's 1957, because I marked it in the cement on the basement, otherwise I'd never remember. And I just looked at it the other day, because young Larry was asking me.
57.
Yeah, 1957.
So it's
And it's 22 years old. Yeah, don't seem possible.
Older than Terry. Terry Getchy was born in 57.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where was the other house?
It's right out front where that flower garden is. Little frame house, small frame house. There used to be, when Lindsay had this, a big house on it, a big white house. And it burnt down in about 29.
So did you stay in that house, or was Lindsay
No,
still in that house?
he was there. And I remember it was in August, because we were working somewhere down by the school. Maybe going to school. so it must have been before 29. We were going to school. I was still in school. And somebody come whooping down the hill saying that Lindsay's house was on fire and that all the school kids were up here. Right now, watch the bonfire. Grandma MacNicol was here then because the Dad sent us all over home because we're in the way, you see. And I remember Grandma was looking after us. We minded Grandma. We minded Grandma MacNicol, I'll tell you. She stayed here about a year with us, so come about this time of year, in February. The snow was terrible. Moyie come in at midnight, the only way in or out. And I remember we had to hook up the old horse to a big toboggan Dad had made for the horse with shafts on. Grandma took a notion she was going back to Glenborough. And she wasn't there how long before she died? A short time.
Well, she went back to Brandon.
Well, Glenborough.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there 2 months. She knew, evidently.
That she was going to go.
But she was in her 80s, you know. And she was going to die home, that's all there was to it. Dad couldn't talk her out of it, nobody could.
Yeah.
She was gone. Well, it's funny, but I can still see her sitting over there in that rocking chair. Rocking like mad, and us kids would so much to get off that porch.
She'd whack you one?
No, she'd never touch us. No.
Just the way
She just had to speak to us.
And you knew.
Just same as Father never touched us. He just spoke. If we did something wrong, he'd always refer us to Mother. He whacked us plenty. I remember one time my brother and I, 2 brothers, it was early in the spring. There were still patches of snow all over. And there's a hollow up in those little hills there. It's when we were at Algot. There's a pig yard. And it filled with water. Got about 8 feet of water in it, you know. And we went up there and we come home from school. And we hauled out a hog trough. And here we were paddling around in this thing in a hog trough. And Mother come over the hill. And she was so dumbfounded that she didn't do anything. She said, just wait till your father comes home. So, well, that was fine, because we knew Dad wouldn't touch it. So we got out of the paddle to shore and got out of the hog trough, all right. We were sitting there, and for about a half an hour, Dad come over the hill. And he says, you boys stop paddling around in that thing. He says, it bothers your mother. And Mother was so dumbfounded she couldn't even lick us, you know. But she sure used to lick us plenty. But Dad never did. He never touched us.
When we first come
But
here,
when he spoke, we jumped.
Yeah.
the boys were sleeping upstairs over at Algot's, making quite a racket. Dad yelled up, he said, it is another peep out of you boys. He said, I'm coming up there. And Doug waited, Bert waited until his dad left, and he said, Pete.
Jack and I, of course, we were horrified that he would even
Really?
peep. It's so low, you know, that we could barely hear him. He knew darn well Dad couldn't hear him. But we were horrified that he would even do that when Father told us not to. But he never, ever touched us. None of it.
Not that you didn't need it.
No, you made up for it. We weren't that good either, I'll tell you that. We got in plenty of trouble.
Well, that many kids. Oh, you'd have to knock a few heads, I think. But
Yeah,
you
I
must have
can't
all
imagine it.
taken care of that many kids.
11 kids.
But you must have all pitched in.
Oh, yeah, everybody
Everybody
had a chore
had
to
their
do.
chores.
Mm.
And
Every
you-
one of them, girls and all.
Yeah,
As soon as you got home from school.
get to work.
And in the morning, get up and milk the cows and feed them, clean the barn out. That was us boys' job.
Mm-hmm.
Girls would cook breakfast. Have breakfast, go to school. Come home, you'd get the wood in and clean the barn out again, put the cows in, feed them. Milk before supper. Turn the milk off through the separator. But we had no problems.
Make our own butter.
We never even used to squabble between ourselves as kids for some reason. Knew better,
Yeah.
because that's one thing Mother wouldn't absolutely tolerate, was a squabbling. the only thing we'd get in trouble. Why we ever got to squabbling, then. We knew we had it. We'd get a licking for sure.
So you stayed at Algot's place?
Yeah.
And he stayed there too?
He stayed in his cabin. He boarded there. He'd eat with us, but he slept in his cabin.
He just didn't care about that big house?
No, he had no interest in it whatsoever.
And probably was glad to get some good home cooking. And
Yeah, we stayed there quite a while. Quite a few years.
So, when did he die, Algot?
I was just trying to think. He was in his 80s. Algot was trapping when he was 75. Still up Hamel, by himself.
Hamel?
Mm-hmm. That was his trap line.
So how would he get there? Canoe
With a
or
rowboat.
boat? Rowboat.
Mm-hmm. Rowed to Argenta. Yeah. And he was still trapping at 75 years old. Unbelievable.
Long way to go.
Yeah.
You know, row all
Yeah.
that.
And all alone. No one with him. All winter.
So, like, would he stay up his trap line?
Most of the winter. He'd come up maybe at Christmas.
Come back down here?
Mm-hmm. And then go back again. Stay till spring. Lived on fish and rice. 90% of his food. While he was up there.
He'd catch the fish.
Lots of fish in the creek.
Yeah.
And take up a bag of rice. And mostly what he lived on.
Yeah.
And chewing tobacco.
And then, where did he die?
Caswell.
The hospital.
Mm-hmm. He was in that home at Willow Haven. No, not Willow Haven. What's that home that's outside of Caswell there, Mirror Lake?
That's Willow Haven.
No, that's down by Nelson.
Oh.
I've forgotten the name of it, but he was there. But they couldn't keep him there. You know, he wasn't used to the being with people, in a house with people, you see. They had an awful time with him.
Did he get senile?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, couldn't remember. Just like most, old people. He was in his 80s.
So, like, he was here, and did you folks take him, or decide that he should go down there, or did he just...
Yeah.
Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He couldn't take care of himself?
Couldn't take care of himself, no. Like he lived over there, you see, by himself in the big house after the last few years. Go over there, the chickens in the house, dozens of them. Go over there and you'd see 2 or 3 of them roosting in the oven. Sitting on the table. Oh, terrible.
Yeah. Huh.
Sitting on his bed. Just like the Ozark.
Yeah.
Quite an old Algot.
Yeah, he's a good old man, I'll tell you, boy. Hard working. Little fellow, all stooped over.
Hmm. But he had no family then? He didn't to pass his land on to?
Carlson. Eric Carlson, like Bud's father, was his nephew.
Huh.
That's how they owned the place. It was passed on to Eric and his will. It was his nephew. Eric come from Sweden. Because he come and went to work for my dad here in the bush. And he couldn't speak a word of English. Not one single word.
My son Bruce taught him how to talk English.
Yeah, he stayed in the bunkhouse with us boys. Like, we never stayed in the house. We always had a bunkhouse. We made too much noise. And he stayed with us, of course. And, well, Bruce was only, 5, 6 years old. And any time Eric made a mistake in his pronunciation even, well, Bruce, of course, would tell him, you see. Of course, we wouldn't because we thought it would hurt his feelings. But Bruce wouldn't. He didn't know enough then, you see. He'd tell him. That wasn't the way you said it. And Eric got to speak perfect English.
But he wasn't married then?
No. No, he got married during the war, I believe. Up at Pinchy Lake or Goldfields. I don't know, one or the other.
Who's this?
Eric Carlson.
Oh, yeah.
Goldfields, I think.
And then came back and...
Yeah.
So, Algot had the 20 acres then?
Mm-hmm. And the 10 acres on the hill.
Well, and then what about down at the with the place down the Kootenay Joe Creek, the old place down there.
Well, that
Is that
for Carlson's used
right?
to live.
Uh-huh.
They bought that from Larry. My brother Larry owned all that.
And what's the young brother Carlson? Not
David.
Right. Well, like David owns a whole big section down there.
Mhm, and Ralph owns a section, a 10-acre lots. I think they are, and David owns one.
And they got those from Larry.
I don't think so. I don't know where they got them. I think they got them either on tax sale or from the government.
Fred, don't you do
Because that's
that.
where Larry got his. The remaining chunk was, I think, 130 acres between there and Fry Creek. He got it from the government
Mm-hmm.
and then sold it later. And then it was sold again to that Dr. McCarthy from Ontario.
Right.
Owns it now.
Yeah.
But that was all at one time owned by a man by the name of Papworth in Caslow.
All of that down by the lake.
All that south of Algot.
He never lived here. Or?
Never lived here, no. And then he never sold any of it either. It all went back to the government and tax sale.
Just speculation.
Just speculation, right, exactly, is what it was. Just speculation. But it just didn't pan out.
Mm-hmm.
Papworth, I think, owned quite a lot of land along the lake in different places.
Mm-hmm.
Just on speculation, but I think he was one of the unfortunate ones.
Right. Yeah.
Just had bit off more than he could chew. Lost it all by being unable to pay the taxes, you see. And they were, very small on wild land. But still in all, if he didn't have the money, it didn't matter how small they were.
So then Eric built the place down by the creek then? Down.
Where Cootsers are now.
Right.
Yeah, Eric built that.
So he never lived here? After
Oh,
that?
yes, they lived there for quite a few years.
Oh.
In Algot's big old log house.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like Bud was about 5 years old when he come here. Ralph was 8. They come from Alberni, from the coast.
Mm.
See, Eric had gotten arthritis so bad that he couldn't tolerate the wet. Thought it might help him up here, but
No.
didn't help. No, not an iota.
Yeah.
Just kept getting worse and worse. Till finally he just died. Well, the arthritis don't kill you, but side effects do.
Right.
They being unable to move.
Yeah.
It throws all your rest of your system out of whack. That's it.
So did he die here too, or did he go into Caslow?
In Castle Hospital.
And then buried in Caslow? Or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Walter Gardner's buried in Castle. Jenny Gardner, Margaret Gardner.
That was their girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mrs. Raper.
May.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur?
Arthur. Mm-hmm. That's Sammy Raper.
Sammy?
And that's it. I never knew what his name was. You always just called him Sammy. A.C. Raper.
Huh?
Arthur Raper. Arthur Clement.
Huh?
Arthur Clement Raper. He was a mounted policeman before he come here. He was in the RCM. Well, the Northwest Mounted in those days. They weren't the Canadian, Royal Canadian Mounted. They were the Northwest Mounted Police.
And then just came here to be a farmer, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he was typical English farmer. And Maycroft in Alberta, in the it's between Coleman and somewhere around there, was named after Mrs. Raper. The post office, Maycroft. That's the May is from Mrs. Raper's.
Huh?
Maycroft. They lived there before they come here, and that's how Maycroft is named. From Mrs. Raper. She was a grand person. At least us kids used to think there was nobody like Mrs. Raper.
How come? What was?
I don't know. She was good to us, real good. And it didn't matter. She'd have parties down there once in a while for the kids. We could tear the house down. Just go right ahead. Bounce on the sofa. You know, kids will bounce around.
Yeah.
Didn't fizz on Mrs. Raper. Didn't fizz on it. Just
Hmm.
go ahead and have a good time. Oh, we thought, but Mr. Raper was cranky. At least we thought he was cranky. Kids did.
Yeah.
But not Mrs. Raper. We
Yeah.
thought the world of him. Yeah, we thought the world of Mrs. Raper.
So were you around when their house burned?
No, just before we come here.
Right.
Just before.
It was that May, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
That just before we come here.
Yeah.
They hadn't even started building the new one when we come here.
Hmm.
That I remember.
Well, you would have landed at Johnson's Landing.
Hmm. The old floating wharf.
But then there was Gardner's Landing.
Hmm. Like, for a while, I didn't know whether this was going to be Johnson's Landing or Gardner's Landing. And I think they had a plebiscite. And it just happened that more people lived right on
This end.
this end, so it was closer to go to the wharf here than it was to go to Gardner's. you
Right.
see, by
It's
about
still
one
that way.
person.
By one person.
So it was, the wharf was built at, and it was called Johnson's Landing. Otherwise, it would have been built at
Gardner's.
Gardner's and called Gardner's Landing. That was
Hmm.
that close. Otherwise,
So-
this wouldn't have been known as Johnson's Landing.
It was just called Johnson's Landing, probably because he was the only one here when they first started stopping. Would
Yeah.
they have stopped just for one person?
Oh yes, right on the shore, like Birchdale. Any place they built 2 fires on the beach, they'd stop.
They used to stop at Fry Creek.
Hmm.
What was there?
Somebody built a fire and stop. So they'd go and stop. They'd pull in. Might have been somebody stuck. They didn't know. You see.
I was just looking at an old schedule, an old ferry schedule, and stopped at Birchdale. They called it something different than Birchdale.
Yeah, it was called MacIntosh's Landing.
Yeah.
MacIntosh was the first man there. He was the first man there. Yeah. When we come here, it was MacIntosh's Landing.
Is that right? Was he there then?
No.
No, Eric.
Noel and Eric. Well, I don't think Eric was. I can't remember. Noel was, I know.
Did they have orchards too?
Mhm.
Did they ship out fruit? And
Not that I remember.
so what did they do for
They used to raise a lot of chickens, eggs, lots of them.
and send them
And
out?
cow, milk, butter. They used to make butter and take it to Caswell, to the hotel, and eggs.
Hmm.
And work out.
Mhm.
They used to work out quite a bit. And trap. They trapped in the winter,
Hmm.
both of them.
Well, and then also they said after they stopped at MacIntosh's and they stopped at Fry Creek.
And Murphy Creek,
Right.
where old Patty Coogan lived there.
When you were here,
Old Pat Coogan,
what was he doing?
prospecting, trapping. I had cabins there, in Murphy Creek.
Hmm. In Salisbury Creek.
Hmm.
What was happening there?
Don't remember exactly, but there was something, somebody tried to start something there is what it was, I think. Some kind of a land deal. Never panned out. And Bulmer's?
Did you know Salisbury at all? Was there?
No, I never remember who he was.
Yeah.
Never even heard who he was.
Mm-mm. But it was always called Salisbury to your memory?
Yeah, always been Salisbury Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at Bulmer's, Bluebell Gardens, it was called.
Yeah.
Stopped there. And Argenta. But somewhere here I've got a big photo. I'm sure there's 3, if not 4, but there are 3 anyway, of the steamers that used to run up the Duncan, all tied up at the dock at Haley's Landing. And I've got to find that thing, because that was taken in the 90s sometime.
That was Haley's Landing was on the Duncan.
Mhm.
Duncan.
Yeah.
How'd they get up there?
It was a stern wheel steamer.
But how'd the stern wheel steamer get up there? Did it
They went right from this lake.
up to the Lardo?
Up the lower Duncan, into Duncan Lake, up the lake, and up the river another 12 miles to Haley's Landing.
Mhm.
Yeah, there were There were 2 CPR boats and 1 Great Northern. The Idaho and the Argenta was CPR boat, and I can't remember the name of the other boat. But one was the Argenta, and the Great Northern was the Idaho. Because I remember it wrecked on what we call Idaho Bend on the lower Duncan. I remember a long time you could see parts of the boat still sticking out of the sandbar. It went aground on a sharp bend, and they never got her off. And then there was the end of it. That's burial ground of the old Idaho. And they used to winch up the Cooper Creek Rapids. That was all there when we come here. Big capstan along the shore and cables, and they winched them up with the capstan up the rapids, because the rapids are too fast for the boat, you see. Rapids ran 12 miles an hour, which was faster than the steamers traveled.
That was at Cooper Creek.
Cooper Creek Rapids. Yeah, there's a winch and long cables, and they'd winch them up.
Were you around, or did you know about, there was a mudslide or snow slide down Hamel Creek. It built up, and then it washed away, and it washed away so much that it changed its course. The Hamel Creek used to go straight on down into the lake. Used to go straight down into...
The river.
Well, it goes into the river now. Goes into the Lardo River that goes on into the lake. And it used to go right into the lake. And then when all the slide came down, it filled that in.
It wasn't a slide.
What was it? I just read about this.
It was a... it could have been a slide. Log jam, for one thing. Like, there used to be farm at the mouth of Hamel, where Hamel is now. Because, as you say, Hamel didn't run there. A man by the name of Seneff owned it. I can still remember him, Mr. and Mrs. Seneff. And then it flooded out after we come here.
Yeah.
Because it was a big log jam that was in Hamel Creek Canyon. And one spring it broke. And of course, all the backed up water and everything come out. And it washed Seneff right. They were lucky to get out of not being drowned. Washed everything in, most of the buildings, right into the river.
And that was the end.
Yeah, part of the old barn used to still stand there. It's not now anymore. It missed the barn. Took the house and seals out. Washed them right into the river.
Apparently there was a trestle bridge.
And the old Great Northern Railway Bridge.
Right. That got washed.
Yep.
Roy was saying when he cleared that new little section of his,
Lots of driftwood.
and creek bottom. There's just creek bottom over
yeah.
there. Right,
Old log jams in there.
He was just so, he was saved on his creek bottom. Well, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's where Hamel used to run at one time. Right down, and I think right along where the Argenta Slough is now. I'm not sure.